All right, guys, today back at it again. All right, now listen, a lot of my friends tell me I have all kinds of gadgets. All right, it's true. I do have all kinds of cooking gadgets, but that's only because I'm a tech head. So, computer science major at Jackson State equals, computer tech for cooking. So anyway, so check this out. Today, we're gonna sous vide chicken. Now, here's what sous vide chicken. I got my friend Rock in Chicago, classmate of mine at Jackson State, who always says, he calls it jacuzzi meat. All right, maybe true, but if you look it up, sous vide is just a French technique for cooking food using water as your heat conductor. Sous vide, you saw it a little bit with my New Year's meal when I did black eyed peas in the Instapot, collard greens in the Instapot, and I actually sous vide some pork chops. But we didn't talk about sous vide a lot then. We're gonna have some more videos, but tonight we're gonna sous vide these chicken drummies in here, and then I'm still gonna end up deep frying them, and I'm gonna apply some Nashville hot sauce. So let's get started. I'll explain a little bit to you about the sous vide process, and we're ready to go. All right, we're getting ready to get started. So listen here. Here's my sous vide device. There's all kinds of types out there. Some have a stick blender, and you can use it on a pot, or you can buy a container. Luckily, I had a friend who sold me his Sous Vide Supreme because he upgraded. So I got this at a real good deal. You can get them off of eBay. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these gadgets. So you can always find, because people will upgrade, and there's no moving parts in it, so it's not gonna fail. It just heats water, okay? Now, like I said, I want you to, if you don't understand sous vide, here's the main thing. Basically, it's a technique for applying heat to food through water as your conductor. Now, my friend Rock, college classmate, calls it meat jacuzzi. All right, not quite, because the meat does not touch the water. If it did, you would either be braised or it'd be soggy. But, nothing's wrong with that either. Certain meats do taste good like that. But in this case, you cook the meat, the heat gets applied through the water. It's protected in a vacuum seal because we're gonna lower it in. You'll see the little vacuum seal, it just takes all the air out. And so basically the heat still heats the food the same way. It's just all about those chemical processes. Remember the good old science class, the 3 states of matter? So it's the same concept. We basically aren't applying heat through fire. So it's gonna allow the food to cook a different way so it doesn't kind of change the texture of the meat, no char, things like that. However, like I said, in the end, I'm still gonna deep fry it. But what I like about this process is it's definitely great with steaks, definitely great with big cuts of meats, but the main thing is the tenderness and the juiciness. Got a cousin, also a Jacksonian, Kim. She just got hers. She did chicken breasts. I'm telling you, you get the chicken breasts out, you sear them, they will stay juicy, even if you over sear them a little bit, because we all know, how many times have you got that chicken breast that's really, really dry? Of course, we do that a lot, because we definitely are always trying to make sure we cook things to temp, and I know chicken is definitely one of those items. So that's why I like this process. This allows me to only fry for color, maybe 5 minutes, and I'm not trying to fry for 15 minutes and worried about, hey, did it get done all the way through? This way, I know it's done, and then I'm simply gonna fry for the color and the crunchiness of the texture, and just allows you to. So sous vide does take a lot. Sometimes you really do have to prep your time with sous vide, but if you take your time and you have the time to do it, you'll really get great. You'll get good results. Sorry about that. You'll get good results, and that's what I like. I like getting good results each time, and once again, it's just a different technique, different flavor. I'm not saying that I'm gonna beat your grandmother's fried chicken, brined in buttermilk, and remember my mom used to have the paper bag and shake. I'm not trying to beat that. That has more to do with memories and the love and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to create new memories. Wow, remember Uncle Kelvin, that crazy uncle who put his food in water and then he deep fried it? New memories. See, that's what we're doing. We're going for 21st century film. All right, so we're gonna get started. Get the top off. I've already brought the device up to temp. Found a recipe out there, all kind of different recipes. Most of the time for the sous vide chicken, I've always seen anywhere from 145 to 150. 145 for frying because I'm gonna cook it for about 2 hours in the water bath. Then we're gonna fry it, so you know it's gonna be done, so no problem there. But the main thing is it's gonna stay juicy because remember, this technique does not dry out food because it cooks it inside of this vacuum seal bag, so all the juices just get repenetrated back in, reabsorbed back into the meat, and then it just keeps warming and it cooking. And plus the other thing is it gets it super tender. All right, so let's get the chicken drummies in here. Now I just season them with some poultry seasoning. You can still remember. I think a lot of people mess up when they are doing sous vide. You still season the food just how you would any other time. There's no difference. It's still gonna cook. Heat is still gonna be applied. So don't think you don't get to use the same seasonings that you want to. I'm just gonna get them in here so I can put them in there. Now some people use a true vacuum seal. I found out that they call this the displacement method. We're gonna lower it in and the water will push I'm still gonna get a lot of the air out, but then the water is gonna get more air out. And then you'll see it'll kind of tighten up around the bag. And then you just leave it in there and you come back. You got them in there like that. Open up the bag, get a lot of the air out. Leave just a little bit so as we lower it in there. I don't need my rack today. So I'm gonna take it. Notice, I'm gonna start lowering it in. You just push down on it. Notice. The bag tightens up. You can't see it, but the bag is tightening up. And you'll see how it really tightens up right around. The water's hot, of course, so if you don't think it's hot, it is. We're just gonna push it down in there. Seal it up. Now, one reason it's cool to use a vacuum seal bag. If you use a vacuum seal bag, you can really just lower it in there and trust that it wouldn't leak. These bags are pretty secure. I've never had one leak water in. However, I don't take any chances and I just leave it outside the flap. We're gonna put the cover on and we're gonna come back and I'll show you in about 1 hour and 45 minutes how it looks. All right guys, time to get it out. It's been about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Let's get it out. You can see that it is cooked. Check it out. The meat is cooked. Now we just want to take it out and get it ready to flour up to fry. Look at it, cooked. We're gonna get them in some flour. All right, guys, chicken's out. Now this is where, unlike grandma and mom, I don't have the paper bag, but we still got it. We're gonna shake it up. And here's a little difference also from grandma. I'm using self-rising flour, and I put a little panko in there just to get it a little crunchy. So let's get a few pieces in there. And shake it up. Let's see. let me do the other batch and we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. I'll show you the chicken in a second, but I got it coated, all the pieces coated in flour, letting it dry off. I think that's one thing that grandma and mom might not have told us. After you get it out of the bag, you don't just dump it right in. I think I found out you kind of let it sit and let the flour and stuff stick and the excess fall off. All right, so here we go. We're gonna make the Nashville hot sauce. I told you before, guys, I love having everything measured out so I can just dump. This recipe calls for a quarter cup of butter that I already got melted, oil. Now it said lard, but I don't have any lard. 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. That's gonna be hot even for me. Of course, start stirring. Cut your heat down a little bit. Paprika, garlic salt, garlic powder, something like that. Regular salt, of course. Black pepper. Now it said brown sugar. I didn't have any brown sugar, but I know they're trying to cut all that heat with some sweet, so we'll go with honey. Should do just as good. The brown sugar probably though would thicken up a little bit, but we'll use honey. Man, trust me, if you can smell this, so we're just gonna keep this warm until the chicken gets ready to fry. So I'm gonna cut it down low, and by that time it'll gel together. I'll show you. I don't feel like picking up the camera, but if you see it in there, maybe not. But you can see it thickening up. And so we're just gonna brush that chicken. So I'm gonna cut this down to super low. Look at it. So that honey is doing exactly the same thing that the brown sugar would have done. So the trick with that is just put it on low, let it sit there. All right, and also guys, if you don't use tools like this to check your oil temp, my friend Dan from work got this for me, or at least he told me about it. Basically, it's just an infrared thermometer. Quick way to check your oils. It really works out great on my griddle, so I can heat, spot check, make sure I got hot zones. And I'm telling you, I told you before, my favorite food writer, the Daily Memphian, said having the right tools can definitely help you go from, like if you're mediocre, boom, you're raised. Whatever level you're at, having the right tools is going to take you one level up. And so I'm still an amateur, but so this helps me at least, like I said, feel like I get stuff consistently right each time, and that's what I'm shooting for right now. Been cooking a little while, but I still like having it come out consistent. Can I reproduce it? Remember that. So all my videos, that's what I want to do. I want to know, can I reproduce this all the time? All right, we're going to let the oil get up to temp, 350. We're going to drop the chicken, then we're going to coat it with the Nashville hot sauce. All right, guys, we're ready to fry. Got it temped. And let's not crowd our pan. We're only going to do about 3 pieces. I'll bring the camera around here so you can see it. Let's drop them in. Remember, we don't have to cook but about 5 minutes, because the chicken is done in Sous Vide. We are just browning for color. Going good. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Frying up good. Like I said, we didn't crowd the pan. We're just doing a few batches. I've only got 6 pieces of chicken anyway. So that temp drop, but we don't want it to drop too much anyway. So perfect. Might not even go 5 minutes, maybe go about 3 minutes. That's about it, guys. We'll get it out in just a second. Sounding good. Okay, guys, let's get this first batch out. Notice, we got the color I wanted. Just gonna put them over here. And then we're gonna drop that second batch. All right, now I don't have them super floury and crunchy because I'm gonna dump it in that Nashville hot sauce. So that's no problem. I could have always double dipped and egg washed and added more batter and had it, you know, really crunchy, but it's got a nice little, hear that little crunch layer? It's got a nice little layer right there. So that's just enough. All right, guys, we're all finished up. There's the chicken. Nice, like I told you. All I did was fry it up to get a color. I wasn't concerned that it wasn't done because I had sous vide it, so I know it was done. I just browned it for about 5 minutes in 2 batches. That's it. So let's start dipping it into the Nashville hot sauce. This is definitely gonna be hot. All right, we're gonna coat each piece. Then we're gonna come back with a good beer and I'm gonna taste it. It's gonna be hot. Okay guys, there it is. We got it all plated up, chicken coated, got the pickles. I need to look up the history and see what's the significance of serving Nashville hot chicken with pickles. All right, let me set the camera up. We're gonna taste it. Got my cold one ready to chase it down. And let's see what it tastes like. All right, guys, ready to dig in. Here we go. Got a piece of chicken, a few pickles to chase it down with. Keep my beer right here. Let's bite into it. Knowing that there's 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper in there, it's really not that bad. I'm very surprised. Like I told you, sous vide, cooked it. Nice crispy skin. Not, you know, not so cakey that it was crumbly crumbs. And I could have double battered it and really had it bready, but I'm not really a big fan of. Well, I mean, I do like that breaded chicken, but you can't go over bread. So I'd rather taste the chicken and the spice. Whew. It is a delayed effect. I'd rather taste the chicken and the spice than that. But, like I said, for me, this allowed me to fry some chicken up with the consistency of knowing it's done. Unlike my mom and grandma who could do this with the one hand tied behind their back. I feel a lot safer knowing my chicken is done. That's it, guys. Nashville hot